The air between them turned cold. Maya froze as Claire stepped out of the sleek black car, her red heels clicking sharply against the pavement. Her perfume filled the air, expensive, heavy, suffocating. "Ethan," she said sweetly, though her eyes were ice. "You didn't tell me you were meeting someone." Ethan turned, still reeling from the sight of Maya and the little girl. "Claire, this isn't." But Claire's gaze had already fallen on Ivy, who clung to Maya's leg, confused and frightened. Her smirk widened. "And who is this pretty child?" Maya instinctively pulled Ivy closer. "Please," she said softly, "just leave us alone." Claire's tone sharpened. "Oh, don't be shy. You seem familiar. Have we met before?" Ethan ran a hand through his hair, his voice low but trembling. "Claire, stop. This isn't the time." But Claire stepped forward, her smile twisting. "Oh, I think it's exactly the time." She looked at the necklace around Ivy's neck, and her expression faltered for a split second. "Is that Ethan's necklace?" Maya's heart pounded. She could feel the walls closing in. Every instinct screamed to run, but her feet refused to move. "Yes," Ethan said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's mine." They stood there in silence. 3 adults and 1 small child, all bound by a truth no one dared to say aloud. Finally, Maya spoke. "Please, can we talk somewhere private?" Claire laughed coldly. "Private? Oh, sweetheart. If you have something to say to my fiancé, you can say it here." "Fiancé?" Maya whispered, her voice breaking. Her hands trembled as she looked at Ethan. "You're engaged?" Ethan's face drained of color. "Maya, it's not what it sounds like." Claire's voice sliced through the air. "Oh, it's exactly what it sounds like. We're getting married next month." Maya's world blurred. Her knees felt weak, her throat dry. "So, I was just nothing." "Maya." Ethan reached out, but she stepped back, clutching Ivy's hand. "I knew I shouldn't have come here," she said, her voice shaking. "Ivy, let's go." But before she could leave, Claire spoke again, her tone dripping with venom. "Wait, you never answered his question, did you?" She tilted her head, eyes glinting with cruelty. "Why does your daughter have his necklace?" The question cut through Maya like a blade. Later that evening, Ethan couldn't think. He drove aimlessly through the city, his mind replaying every second. That little girl, her smile, her eyes, they mirrored his own. The resemblance was too strong to ignore. He slammed his fist against the steering wheel. Could it be? He parked in front of his penthouse, unable to shake the feeling that something precious had been taken from him, something he didn't even know he had. Claire waited inside, pacing the living room like a lioness guarding her prey. When he entered, she turned sharply. "You owe me an explanation, Ethan." He ignored her and poured himself a drink. "No, Claire. You owe me an explanation." She blinked. "Excuse me. Why did you lie about being pregnant?" His voice rose, anger seeping through every word. Claire's mouth fell open. "What are you talking about? You told me you were expecting months ago, and then suddenly you lost the baby, conveniently when I asked for proof." He slammed the glass down. "I'm not stupid, Claire." Her mask cracked for a second before she composed herself. "You think that woman out there is any better? She's probably after your money. Look at her." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Her name is Maya, and she had nothing. Nothing but that necklace, my necklace, around her daughter's neck." His voice softened, filled with something Claire hadn't heard in months, sincerity. "If that child is mine, I'll find out." Claire's eyes darkened. "If you walk out that door, Ethan, you'll regret it." He turned toward her, calm but cold. "No, Claire. I already regret meeting you." He grabbed his keys and walked out, slamming the door behind him. Meanwhile, in their small apartment, Maya sat motionless, staring at the necklace in her palm. The gold gleamed faintly under the dim light. Lydia watched from the kitchen, her arms crossed. "You met him, didn't you?" Maya nodded slowly. "He saw Ivy. He knows." Lydia sighed, sitting beside her. "And what did he say?" "Nothing. He didn't have to." Maya's voice cracked. "He's engaged, Lydia. To that woman." Lydia frowned. "The one from the news? The businesswoman?" Maya nodded again, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. "Yes, and she hates me already." Lydia took her hand gently. "Maya, listen. You can't run from this forever. If that man is Ivy's father, he deserves to know. She deserves to know. Maya's gaze fell on her sleeping daughter. I was going to tell him one day. Just not like this. Lydia sighed, her tone softening. Life never waits for the perfect moment. Maya smiled weakly. You sound like a fortune cookie. Maybe, Lydia said, chuckling softly, but I'm right. The next day, Ethan arrived at the hotel where Maya once worked. Mrs. Brown was still the manager. He flashed his business card. I'm looking for a former employee, Maya Thompson. Mrs. Brown frowned, searching her memory. Maya. Oh yes. The young woman who got pregnant. I fired her. Ethan's eyes narrowed. Why? She was a distraction. We run a business, not a daycare. He clenched his fists. You ruined someone's life because she was expecting? Mrs. Brown smirked. I follow the rules, Mr. Donovan. Then maybe you should learn what compassion looks like, he said coldly before walking out. He drove to the address he'd managed to get from an old colleague. As he parked outside the modest apartment building, he took a deep breath. What if she doesn't want to see me? Still, he knocked. Maya opened the door and froze. Ethan, I need to talk, he said softly. Lydia appeared behind her, folding her arms. If this is about money, we don't want it. Ethan shook his head. It's not about money. It's about the truth. Lydia looked between them, then nodded. I'll give you two some privacy. Ethan stepped inside. The apartment was small, humble, but filled with warmth. Children's drawings on the walls, the scent of home-cooked food lingering in the air. Maya sat across from him, her eyes wary. Why are you here? He hesitated. Because I need to know. Is Ivy mine? Her breath caught. She looked down, tears filling her eyes. Yes, she whispered. Ethan closed his eyes, overwhelmed. My God, I didn't plan to hide it forever, she said quickly. I tried to find you, but I didn't even know your name. You left before I woke up. All I had was this necklace. Ethan rubbed his face, guilt washing over him. I was drunk that night. I don't even remember how I got there. But I swear, Maya, I never meant to hurt you. I know, she said softly. You were hurting too. For a moment, they sat in silence, the air heavy with unspoken pain. Then Ethan smiled faintly. She's perfect, you know. Ivy, she has your kindness. And your stubbornness, Maya replied, a small laugh escaping her lips. Their laughter faded into something tender, fragile, but real. But just as warmth began to bloom between them, the front door swung open. Claire stood there, her expression thunderous. Well, well, she sneered. I see you found your little family. Maya stood, startled. How did you? Followed him, Claire said coolly. He's predictable. Ethan's voice hardened. Claire, leave. Not until she hears me out, Claire said, turning to Maya. You think you're the victim here? You trapped him with a child he doesn't even remember conceiving. Maya's voice trembled with fury. I didn't trap anyone. I raised Ivy alone, with nothing. Touching, Claire said sarcastically. But you're forgetting something, sweetheart. Ethan is mine. Ethan stepped forward, his voice low and dangerous. Not anymore. Claire's eyes flared. You'll regret this. And then she dropped a bombshell that silenced them both. Oh, by the way, she said with a cold smile, you're not the only one with a child, Maya. Because, surprise, I'm pregnant too. The room went dead silent. Maya's heart stopped. Ethan stared in disbelief. What? Claire smirked. You heard me. Congratulations, Daddy. The tension was unbearable. Maya stumbled back, her hand covering her mouth. She's lying. Am I? Claire said smoothly, pulling a folded ultrasound from her purse. You can check if you want. Ethan's mind spun. He didn't know what to believe. His heart said one thing, his fear another. Claire took a step closer. You think you can build a family with her? Fine. But don't forget, I know things about you that can destroy your reputation. Choose wisely, Ethan. Then she left, slamming the door so hard the walls shook. Maya sank to the floor, tears streaming down her face. She's going to ruin everything. Ethan knelt beside her, his hand trembling as he touched her shoulder. I don't care what she says. I'll find the truth. Maya looked up at him, eyes filled with fear. And if she's really pregnant? Ethan hesitated, pain flashing across his face. Then I'll take responsibility. But Maya, he took her hand gently. I won't walk away from you. Or Ivy. A soft knock interrupted them. Lydia peeked in, her face pale. You might want to see this. She held up her phone, showing a breaking news alert.